What if the secret to clothes that last a lifetime isn't found in shiny new machines, but in ancient wisdom? We're talking garments that endure, not just for a season or a few years, but for generations. This isn't simply about hand washing or hanging lines. It's about a deep way of life, a spiritual tie to every stitch. It changes everything you thought you knew about laundry and how we care for what we own. Thank you for being here with me today. Before we dive in, let's just take a quiet moment to open our hearts to what we can learn from this simple way of life. It's a powerful question, isn't it? How do their clothes last so long? The answer isn't in a special soap or a secret technique. It's in their mindset. For the Amish, taking care of what you have is a deep spiritual practice. It's about stewardship, this core belief that everything you own is a gift from God, and it's your sacred duty to care for it well. That simple idea changes everything about a task we see as a chore. It's why laundry isn't something to rush through. It's an entire day of focused work, cleaning clothes for families with 6, 7, or sometimes more than 10 children. They use old-school wringer washers, and they hang everything on the line, year-round. Do you even see those iconic clotheslines full in the dead of winter, with fabrics freeze-drying in the cold air? It's a way of life that has so much to teach us about slowing down and finding real value in the things we so often just throw away. That is a well-known saying in Amish communities, cleanliness is next to godliness. But this isn't about having a perfect, sterile home. It's about respect. It's a spiritual reminder that everything they have is a blessing, and taking care of it is a form of worship. This mindset turns laundry from a chore into an act of deep gratitude. Do you see this in how they treat each piece of clothing? It's not a disposable item to be replaced next season. It's a resource to be carefully preserved for as long as possible. This is why they set aside an entire day, usually every Monday, just for laundry. With families often having 6, 7, or even more than 10 children, this is no small task. It's a full day of focused, intentional work. And it's done with simple, powerful tools. You won't find many electric dryers here. Instead, everything goes on the clothesline, no matter the weather. Journalist Kevin Williams, who has studied Amish life for 30 years, confirms that seeing a modern dryer is extremely rare. They have such a practical wisdom for this. For small things like socks or bonnets, they'll use clever hanging racks made from old bicycle wheels. They also use natural cleaners that are gentle on fabrics. A little salt helps get out a tough grease stain. Half a cup of washing soda brightens whites and colors. And instead of store-bought fabric softener, they just use a splash of white vinegar in the rinse cycle. It's all part of the same idea. Every action, no matter how small, is a chance to be a good steward of the gifts you've been given. It's a quiet, beautiful way of honoring God by simply taking care of your clothes. So at the heart of this entire laundry day is a machine that might look a bit old-fashioned to us, the wringer washer. These are simple, powerful workhorses. Their design pretty much dates back to the 1940s and 50s, and for a good reason, they are built to last and they just get the job done. But since most Amish homes aren't connected to the public power grid, these washers don't just plug into a wall. They often run by a diesel generator or sometimes even a clever air-powered motor. It's a great example of how they find ways to use helpful technology while still living separately from the world. It can make laundry day pretty noisy, but it works. Now, the real secret to getting things so perfectly clean isn't just in the machine itself. It's in the way it's used. For an Amish homemaker, this isn't about tossing everything in and pushing a button. It's a very hands-on, meticulous process. They'll often add borax to the wash, which helps disinfect, deodorize, and soften the water. And for a really stubborn spot, it's not uncommon to see them wipe it with a little white vinegar or even peanut butter before it ever goes into the wash. Then comes the wringer itself, those two powerful rollers that squeeze every last bit of soapy water out of the fabric. You get each piece of clothing through yourself. This gives you total control. You're not just letting a machine violently tumble and twist your clothes for an hour. This careful, intentional handling is a huge reason why their clothes last so much longer. It's more like a partnership between the person and the machine. With families averaging 6 to 10 children or more, you can imagine how many loads of laundry they have to do. The wringer washer is a system built for that kind of volume and for heavy-duty cleaning. It might take nearly a full day and a lot of physical effort, but the result is perfectly clean clothes that have been treated with true care, ready to be worn and loved for many, many years to come. So once those clothes are perfectly clean, the next step is just as important for making them last, getting them dry. And for the Amish, that means working with the elements, not against them. You see those classic D-shaped clotheslines in almost every yard. But they also have a really clever innovation you might not notice at first. It's a kind of spool system with a crank. A double line runs from the house all the way out to a tall post, a tree, or even the side of the barn. This lets them hang out a huge amount of laundry without taking up the entire yard. We's a big family, you need every inch you can get. But what about in the winter? You can't exactly hang clothes out in freezing temperatures, right? Well, it turns out, you can. The Amish have been doing it for generations, using a bit of natural science. When you hang wet clothes on a line in the winter, they freeze solid. But then something amazing happens. The ice doesn't melt, it turns directly into water vapor and disappears into the air. It's basically freeze-drying your clothes. They come off the line stiff, but completely dry. All they need is a little shake to loosen up. It's a brilliant way to use the cold to their advantage. Of course, on days when it's just too damp or stormy, they have indoor solutions, though. Many homes have clotheslines strung up in the basement or an enclosed porch. Sometimes you see drying racks set up near the wood-burning stove, letting that radiant heat do the work. And they even have small, creative setups. A popular one is a simple dryer made from an old bicycle wheel, hung from the ceiling with clothespins clipped all around it. It's perfect for small things like socks or head coverings. This isn't just about avoiding an electric dryer. Line drying is so much gentler on fabric, which is a huge reason their clothes last for decades. It doesn't cook and shrink the fibers. And there's nothing quite like the fresh, clean smell of clothes dried in the open air, no chemical dryer sheets needed. It's just one more quiet, intentional step in a process that values stewardship over convenience. So when you bring all of these pieces together, you start to see the bigger picture. It's not just one thing. It's not just the wringer washer, or the clothesline. It's the entire, intentional process that makes these clothes last. And a huge part of that process is what they actually use to clean them. Instead of harsh modern detergents and chemical softeners, many Amish families use simple, natural solutions they make themselves. Things that have been used for generations because they just work. If there is a stubborn grease stain, they often use a simple salt solution. To keep whites bright and get rid of any odors, they'll add some washing soda to the water. And for a fabric softener? They use plain white vinegar, sometimes with a few drops of essential oils. It softens the fabric naturally, without leaving behind any of the chemical residue that can break down fibers over time. Think about what that means for a piece of clothing. It's being washed powerfully, but with gentle, natural cleaners. It's never being blasted with the intense, damaging heat of an electric dryer. Every single step in the process is designed to preserve the fabric, not just get it clean for the next wear.